Hi everyone, it's Dr. D. Welcome to Brain Burst, Explanations in Under 1 Minute. On this series, I want to talk about word problems, especially word problems for your English language learners. So if you're a general education teacher and you have English language learners in your classroom, as well as native speakers of English in your classroom, at all different skill levels and proficiency levels, how do you successfully teach without having 50,000 problems for every kind of level of language acquisition in your classroom, as well as your native speakers, right? That's a huge challenge. Well, on this series, I'm going to show you how you can visualize solving word problems. Now, a lot of times when we think of visualization, we normally think of something like this, where we're visualizing the vocabulary words, which is absolutely awesome. Keep doing it. But we also need to be able to allow students to process and to think. So how do we visualize the thinking process while we can simultaneously assess students' ability and knowledge level? Well, I like to call it 3D modeling. And it's modeling the thinking process. It's excellent for all students in all levels of language proficiency. And it allows you to ask questions where your pre-production student, those who are in the silent stage, or your early production student who still has minimum vocabulary, can still point, right, and draw to answer your questions and to show their level of understanding. So let's check out 3D modeling. A student in an elementary school has a cart full of whiteboard markers that she needed to distribute to 5 different classrooms. She went to a first grade classroom first and gave them half. So we fold the paper so the kids can see what's half. And you show it to them and you would say, she gave half to the first grade class. And then you can say, first grade class. They gave half. So the kids will understand that this is given and this is what's remaining. And then it says, next she went to the second grade classroom and gave them half of the markers. The kids will understand that this is what's remaining. And if she gave half to the second grade class, you can draw a line and then we'll say this is for the second grade class. And that these markers are gone. So now the kids understand that this is what is remaining. Next, she went to the third grade classroom and gave them half. So you can either draw the line this way or you can draw the line that way. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to draw the line this way. And then this is the third grade class that got markers. So now they understand that this is all that is remaining. Next, she went to the fourth grade class and gave them half of the markers. So I'm going to go this way because this is half of this strip. And this is the fourth grade classroom, right? So these are gone. So this is what is remaining. And this is the fifth grade class, of which has 200 markers. So now the kids can look at it visually and see how many markers each class got by comparing the sizes. Since these two sizes are the same, this must also be 200 markers. Since this piece here is equivalent to this, this must be 400 markers. Since this is half and this is half, this must be 400 plus 200 plus 200. So this is 800 markers. And since there's 800 markers here and 800 markers here, and this here is the same size as this, this must be 1,600 markers. 800 plus 800. So the kids can visualize this and, number one, understand what's half, what's remaining, right? Gave first grade, this is what's remaining, and then work from the remaining side to be able to visually see what is happening. And then from that information, the kids will be able to solve the problem when you explain to them that if they're the same sizes, they have to have the same values. And then that's how they can understand what each section represents as far as markers are concerned. This is another way to visualize the math for the students. Okay, so hopefully you really enjoyed that as much as I did. Now, you can see it's called 3D modeling because they actually have something to hold, to fold, to draw on, to manipulate. And it's not limited to just halves, as was this fractional problem. It can be any size fraction. For instance, if it was quarters, then they would draw it into fours. If it was fifths, they would draw it into fifths. But what's so awesome about this is the fact that for your pre-production, early production student and your native speakers who are struggling, you can ask them questions and they can draw it. Or it can already be drawn and you can ask them questions and they can point. But the point to this matter is the fact that you will be able to determine where their level of ability are. Where is the point that they're having difficulty? And you can see their level of understanding by their responses or by their drawings. Now, it's not limited to just fractions. This can also be done for percentages as well, which will be the next 3D modeling that I'll show on the next series of Brain Burst, Explanations in Under 1 Minute. Happy sciencing, Dr. D.